Welcome back to Mediocre Painting with me, Wayne. Today I'm starting a project that I've wanted to do for a while. We've been talking about Battletech forever at the store. It was my first miniatures game, and it's got a, special place in the old heart. So me and a couple friends were starting a campaign in the next couple of days. I'm playing a land air mech pilot. Because these models for the old ones are really hard to find and really expensive, I'm actually going to be using one of the actual Robotech Valkyries from the old failed Robotech RPG Tactics game that several of us got housed with on Kickstarter that we only got part of our stuff for. So the fact that I'm going to actually be using a model made for a Robotech game in a Battletech game is my little personal f*** you to them. So that's what we're going to do today. And from looking at these instructions and how these sprues are, what little bit we got from the Kickstarter, they're as awful as everyone said they were. There are literally no numbers for any of the pieces for putting this stuff together. So you're going to watch me struggle through this. And this is going to be like part one of our series of me putting together and painting my land air mech, aka transformable Valkyrie fighter for Battletech. Because you Harmony Gold and you Palladium Books. And yeah, this is what we're doing. All right, so these directions say that the first thing we need is a base. But you'll notice there's no bases that they gave us in what I got from the Kickstarter. Other people might have got bases. I think they had some big circle bases in there. But the shit I got didn't have any bases in it. But that's okay anyway, because it's going to be for Battletech. I'm putting it on a hex base anyway, and because this is pewter, it'll be nice and weighty so the thing won't tip over being up on a flight stem. So, not too bad. All right. I can't even fold these directions because the damn thing is like right on the crease. All right. So we're going to start with the foundation. For reference, I hate Harmony Gold. They got the rights to Robotech, which was arguably one of the biggest things that introduced anime and robot style anime to the United States. And for 38 years, they've done with it, except try to sue people for using. They literally are the reason that that franchise is not successful anymore in the United States. Because, whatever. They got a dumb who runs it or something, I don't know. They hate money. That's my guess for it, is they just hate money. So yeah, I think Piranha or whoever made the video game a few years ago, Harmony Gold trotted out their dog and pony show of suing them. And Piranha actually had good lawyers, and they went to court and they said, look, these mechs are licensed. These are the artists that created them. The artists that created them actually didn't create them specifically for anything. They were just made. And copyright law has been more codified in Japan since then. And so they said the artists can sell you the rights to use this imagery for whatever they want because they own it, because they created it. And so Harmony Gold basically got in court, so they dismissed Harmony Gold's lawsuit with prejudice, so they could never sue over that again for that particular use of that thing. But it's far too late for Fasa Corporation, who basically got put out of business over this in the 90s because they didn't have good enough lawyers. And who the well, this super glue is worthless. This is what I get for getting off the table out here. God, I have to get my own. Alright. So, but my cousin got me into basically all things gaming, so I guess he's kind of responsible for this bullshit. But, well, I guess we just start wherever the we feel like. I guess we'll start with the body. So yeah, there used to be a place on Fort Knox in the early 90s where you could rent out like the old barracks buildings and stuff. And so we did that. Like they had a club that met up there, and people played like D&D and Warhammer and BattleTech, and like 11-year-old me in 92 thought it was like the bomb. And that's what I got into. And so I bought my first BattleTech tech readout, and I was like, holy crap, they got the same kind of stuff that's in Robotech. And so it just sold me on it, because I just thought, oh, these are cool mech designs. People are just using them. And then, of course, like years later, I find out what happened. Harmony Gold and Masic, actually, like the whole Robotech storyline was like 3 stories that they kind of ripped and smushed together that actually weren't supposed to be in the same thing. And, you know, it's never cool when the curtain gets pulled back, but at the same time, it's fun learning the history. What do I know? And this plastic isn't too bad. And there's a lot of vitriol about this whole Robotech Kickstarter, which is completely warranted. I mean, Palladium Books. Well, Kevin Simbita is not exactly the most upstanding dude in the industry. And when they put this Kickstarter out, I guess it was like back in 2013 maybe, and made a couple $1 million. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get a Robotech RPG game. We get a tabletop. It's going to be fun. We're going to get cool mechs. And then their first fatal mistake was when they got their Kickstarter done. They hired Ninja Division to do the fulfillment for them. Which, if anybody knows anything about Ninja Division, you know that they've had multiple unfilled Kickstarters over the last few years. And pretty much their name is mud in the industry. And so, well, Kevin Simbita and Palladium Books didn't know this. Of course, the earlier days of Kickstarter too. So they hired the wrong people to do the creative control. So a couple $1 million got squandered, and we got wave 1 of the Kickstarter that we all paid several $100s to be in, to get all these upgrades and all this stuff. And then the wave 2 never came. And people waited around, and they kept promising that it's coming, that they're doing this, and that they had to get a new manufacturer, and the litany of excuses for months and months and months. And then it drug on to years. And then in, I think it was 2018 or so, Palladium Books lost the license to Robotech. And then they were like, oh, hey, guess what? We don't have to actually put any effort into trying to pretend we're going to fulfill that Kickstarter anymore. And so they didn't. And so some of us who dumped, $500-$600 into a Kickstarter, because we did a store level one for a bunch of our clientele, we never got it. Which is, shitty, to say the least. All right, so it doesn't say, do I put the wings in first, or do I put the body together first? So I guess we gonna find out. I'm gonna shave this down so it fits inside a little bit better. It's like a bird. Burp, 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 burp. So I like to use plastic glue for my plastic models. And some people like super glue. because you can pop the thing apart easier. I use plastic glue because I don't want it to come apart, and I'm bougie like that. If I need to do a different model, I'll just buy a new one. Hoy, 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 hoy. Well, that, and if I need it, I have probably 20 more of these sprues at home. So, yeah, plastic glue. And I like the Tamiya brush-on glue. It doesn't get the strings that a lot of the other plastic glues will get you. And, of course, for my plastic cutting, using my trusty God hand clippers, because there ain't no better clippers for cutting plastic. Don't cut nothing else with them, though, because they will explode if you do. One of my friends tried to cut a paper clip with it after I specifically said, don't cut anything but plastic. And he immediately, like, within 30 seconds, is like trying to cut a paper clip to pin a model together. He's like, hey, man, these clippers broke. And I'm like, well, no shit, I told you not to cut that. He's like, oh, I didn't hear that. I'm like, I just said it to you. So, yeah, plastic only. Not even resin, really, because resin gets real brittle and it can shatter these two. I've seen it happen here at the table. But for plastic cutting, you can't beat them. For general purpose cutting, any pair of good clippers are good. These are my tri-tools. I picked these up actually when I was in Japan. That's what I use for cutting harder parts and metal parts and resin stuff. They're a little small for my big clown hands, but I like them because they're sturdy. Alright, this seems to be together and not coming apart. So I guess we can go ahead and like glue that onto here. Don't be stupid, Wayne. Put it on the small part. I got kind of an outline where it goes, so I guess that's where we're going to do it. What's also pretty cool about this plastic glue that's in the brush-on form is it sets up really quick. So you can still wibble it around if you need to. But I'm going to let that dry for a minute. And then we'll stick our wings in, but I'm going to start working on some arms and legs in the meantime. Put that in the frame over here. Oh, product placement. God hand. All right, well, now the question becomes, which... This stopped being funny, and I'm just like, what?